Welcome back to another edition of the Unknown Sports Podcast. I'm your host, AJ Musser. Joined with me, as per usual, is Hunter Harris and Austin Fyffe. What is up, fellas?
The last game of the season.
We made it.
Podcast of the season. Until the off season.
I mean, next week's.
I mean, we have to do a Super Bowl. That's awesome.
We got to do our Super Bowl review, but
that's fair. It is off season. Hunter's right.
Yeah, it'll be the last in season podcast we do.
And we're taking the pod, the Bahamas, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
You're buying, I'm flying.
Speaking of taking it anywhere, why in the hell did we not get an invite to Radio Row in Los Angeles this week? Did you guys get an invite, like, for the podcast to go?
Yeah, dude, I emailed it to you.
You didn't.
Did you not?
Yeah, I did.
Ticket?
You don't even have my You don't even have my email. What's my email address?
I don't have it in front of me.
Don't put it out there. The hundreds of listeners that listen to this will start emailing AJ.
The 5 listeners that listen to this and they don't want to email me, they can just text me.
Austin, I have one question, dude. Where the hell is that turtle tank, dude? Where's the turtle at today?
It's in the other room, dude. We had problems with the lighting and the sound.
Well, my thing is, we're getting past the Radio Row thing. Every podcast known to man is there right now, and we're not. Do we need to hire an actual producer? Hunter, you do great work, but, like, do we need somebody with connections?
I'm thinking Erica Tamposi, maybe. Bring her on board.
Ricky Hollywood? Hey, Ricky Hollywood, you want to take a massive step down and not get paid? We can reach out to her. We'll see. I just want
to throw you a bone there with your with your NFL podcast around the NFL podcast.
Yeah, but you like
I do
like the Rosenthal and
yes, I know. Yes.
Jesselneck Vanity Project.
Mm-hmm. JRVP.
Yeah.
What are we drinking beer wise today?
I don't know, dude. We should escape to LA. Oh, escape.
I don't know what it means. It's spelled exactly like the word escape.
Yeah. OffShoot beer. It's your everyday West Coast IPA. That rhymes. Well done. Well done with the rhyme there. Offshore beer.
Hey, why did you guys pick this beer?
This is the brewery.
You want to see what I'm dealing with right now?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Austin. Good call out.
This is what I'm dealing with right now.
You got a hole in the bottom of it?
It is pretty sick.
I don't know. I didn't even shake this thing up, and it's going nuts right now.
Oh, it just foamed up. You're fine.
Yeah, but it's dangerously close to getting to
mine did too.
High-tech pod equipment. Yeah, what the heck? Dude, it's the beer.
Pouring.
It's not us. It's the beer.
It could not be you guys. I promise.
I mean, I don't think I did anything wrong.
All right, Austin.
It's not my first time pouring a beer.
Your job here, Austin, is to give us the news today. Austin with the news. While I go get some paper towel.
I don't want to do the news.
We're not going to do the news. So what we're going to do here, Austin, is you and I are going to just talk like we're giving the news right now. And then when he sits down after cleaning it up, we're going to throw the news to him. Because for the listeners out there, Hunter threw the news to Austin, actually knowing we were going to give him the news at the beginning. But we're not going to do it because he doesn't know what to talk about.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on in today's stuff. But
Hunter, how's the cleanup going? There? That was pretty smart, right? Throw it to Austin.
It was close to being smart
this week. It was close to being smart. It was,
but we definitely threw an Uno reverse at you, and it's Hunter with the news.
Damn it. Hell, dude. We just talked about. Oh yeah.
See, you can't even in real life. You can't trump the reverse card, dude.
Well, we got a couple of head coaches that got hired. We now have two black head coaches that got hired. Mike McDaniel and Lovie Smith.
McDaniel is not African American.
Have you heard about this?
He's biracial.
Yeah.
Oh, he's biracial.
I did not know that.
They actually asked him about that in his press conference, and because he, obviously is very light skinned, and most people don't even realize that he is biracial. But they asked him about it in his interview, and he was like, "I mean, I'm a human. I mean, like my dad's black, but that's about it."
And I I couldn't support him anymore with what he said. He's a human being, and that's really all that matters.
But I mean, how about that? NFL turning a corner, maybe taking that stuff to heart.
Yeah. Did you? Yeah.
Right after the Forest. Interesting.
Oh, you also missed out, Hunter, on Alvin Kamara got arrested.
Yes, he did. And I don't even know what he got arrested for, if I'm being honest.
Battery.
Yeah,
he beat someone up the night before.
Austin's shop, dude. What
he did. In a battery in Las Vegas. No, he went into a club the night before and beat somebody up leaving the club, and
played in the game.
Yeah, played in the game and got arrested after the game.
Wow. Now, was this part of Bounty Gate system? You know is it still continuing? Like, we have to talk about this.
There was definitely no Bounty Gate during the Pro Bowl. Oh my God.
No, but I did hear Dogg the Bounty Hunter is in Vegas.
Man, we are just jumping all over the place, aren't we?
Actually, that's a tie-in to the Around the NFL podcast that you dropped. One of them ran into him at the hotel.
Just literally, so many connections that it feels like we're disorganized, but really most organized.
But really, we're tying all up the loose ends today.
Yeah, we're ahead of schedule over here, to be honest. What did you guys think of some of these hires? We could start with.
I want to talk about the Doug Peterson one a little bit.
Okay.
I do like that one. He went to the Jaguars, and to me, there weren't a lot of good hiring options at that point when he got hired. And I think that's actually a pretty solid hire for their team. I mean, he's a head coach that has experience and he's not a complete idiot. I mean, I don't know. I think
he's not. Don't give that look, Hunter. He's not a complete idiot.
I don't think he is a complete idiot. I think it's a good hire.
He's not. I agree, AJ. It's a good hire.
It's solid.
We need
not bad, and it's not great.
As a group of people that watch football, we need to start understanding that there's levels of things, and not everything is either a home run or the worst thing on the planet. And Doug Peterson being hired in Jacksonville is very much in between there. It's not the worst. If he got what he got out of Nick Foles and Carson Wentz, what better than to hire him to figure out if you've got what you've got in Trevor Lawrence? If he can't make Trevor Lawrence any sort of level of consistent production, you at least know you don't have your guy, and that checks off another box that you have to figure out in Jacksonville before you can do any sort of even moderate improvements to your team.
I disagree, man. It's a Super Bowl or bust league 100%. This isn't some other... There's a couple of sports there. Baseball, you can get away with this. Basketball even, where if you're in turmoil and you just suck for so long, eventually it's just like, all right, let's just try to throw it together a decent season and maybe our fans will be happy. This is in the NFL, it's a Super Bowl or bust league. You're either going to win the Super Bowl or you are one of the teams that is trying to get the best draft pick, if we're being honest, putting it that way. I don't think that being in the middle is honestly the worst place to be in the NFL. Hiring Doug Peterson, I don't really care, to be honest, whether they hired him or not, because there's more problems they need to address than head coach at this point. He's not going to be the guy that's going to be there long term. He might be a bridge type of coach there, but we all know, I mean, the way it fell apart in Philly, I don't know how you could say he is a good coach at this point. I don't think he is.
I don't know why he would be a bridge coach. Why would you bring a bridge coach in when you have a second-year hopeful franchise quarterback and Trevor Lawrence? You'd be trying like that would be that would.
But
I don't disagree with you, but like if that franchise is really trying to give him a chance, Doug Peterson's not going to be a one and done coach unless he's getting lap dances at clubs and stuff in Cincinnati after games.
No, he'll,
you know what I mean?
Instead, he'll at the end of the season start throwing games to get a better draft pick. That's really how you turn the franchise around.
I don't think they have to throw games because
that's what he did though. In
one, they're not Miami, and two,
you think that's why he got fired in Philly?
No, that's not why he got fired. But that was like the last. Okay, all right, this is who Doug Peterson is. Moment in Philly.
You think that came from the coach?
What, losing that game?
You don't think that was a front office decision?
You think that they told him, lose that game and then you're fired next week?
No, I think he knew he was fired regardless.
So he wanted to get them a better draft position? What are you arguing here? Wouldn't he go out and try to win that game?
No. Why would he do that?
Why would he do that? Because he wants to get another head coaching job.
It's called not getting a crap rep around the league. Yeah, go ahead and, don't be yourself in line with management. Let's not work on your severance package. Let's not work on the ability to get back into the league. It's about relationships. Why would you not do what the front office wants to do there? You think one man can rebel against the front office and just decide what's going to happen there?
You realize you got on this podcast last year and said
it was smart.
Yeah, you said it was smart and that they did it. And they did
They
it
got
to
an
get
extra first round pick out of it.
Yeah.
It led to an extra first round pick. It was smart.
That's what you said. So why?
Right. It is still smart.
So you're okay.
I forgot about the extra first round pick part.
Yeah, it got them from the 9th pick to the 6th pick, and the Dolphins traded up to go get Jalen Waddle, which has resulted in an extra first round pick for the Eagles.
And then
it was
Doug
smart.
Peterson got fired.
He wasn't getting fired because of that game.
He wasn't getting fired because of that game. He was getting fired because he's a terrible head coach.
Terrible. He's a super
terrible head coach that had to work with Carson Wentz and got to the
Can
Super
we
Bowl.
work back to the fact
I say
that you
terrible
said
on
this
this
is a
show
Super
all the
Bowl or
time.
bust league?
Yes, go ahead.
You just called him a terrible coach, but he won one of those Super Bowl or bust situations.
Correct. Oh my God.
Correct. Don't use my arguments against him.
Freaking that one year that they won the Super Bowl, it was really a lightning in the bottle type of year. They were going for it on 4th down at an extremely high rate. And if you look at his decisions, yes. And then the next 3 years, he decided to make those same decisions. And did they work? No. He was subpar in all those categories. The last year, he was the last Hunter? To win the Super Bowl.
And what did he do?
And he won the Super Bowl. Sometimes, man, you have a great team, and it just comes together. That team had a great defense, great offensive line. The quarterbacks were playing great. Even Nick Foles stepped up there at the end. And I don't think that was Doug Peterson that was making that happen. Do you think it was?
I didn't think our Doug Peterson conversation was going to take this long. I really just wanted to mention that I thought it was a solid hire.
Well, then we can move on. My feelings are it's not a good hire.
Do I think those things were Doug Peterson? At the same time, none of those things were ever the same after Doug Peterson.
Here's my problem with the NFL. These coaches that have terrible, terrible seasons and get fired from their head coaching positions immediately get hired back into the head coaching positions on these other teams, it feels like, all the time. Why don't these guys, why we never just take a chance on, like, if you're the Jaguars, why do you always have to bring in an Urban Meyer or a guy like Doug Peterson? Why can't you go take a chance on one of these coordinators or something like that? You know,
Urban Meyer was taking a chance.
Was it?
He had never coached in the NFL.
He was also a really established head coach in college.
Hunter, typically in the NFL, you get 2 chances at being a head coach. And if it doesn't go well one time, you might get a second one, depending on what your situation was. But typically, you don't get more than 2. Doug Peterson's going on round 2, and he won a Super Bowl at the first one. So if he has any sort of success at this one, he probably will come around for a 3rd time. But it's not like there's head coaches that like are getting 4th and 5th and 6th time jobs. Like, it's typically like you get 1 or 2, maybe 3, and you don't get to be a head coach anymore. You do end up a coordinator then at some point.
That's fair, but most of these teams are like, for example, this one here. I don't know why when you're trying to build something with, like, you guys mentioned, if you're trying to build around Trevor Lawrence, for example, wouldn't you want to get a bright offensive mind in there and pair that with him? Why would you recycle a Doug Peterson type?
Yeah. Why would
because
you
that
use
offense they ran,
coach that won a Super Bowl?
Yeah, the offense that he ran with that Eagles team, Trevor Lawrence can run.
Yes,
Trevor Lawrence could probably run that offense better than Nick Foles did, who won the Super Bowl in the playoffs.
Doug Peterson had Carson Wentz as the MVP front runner. before he got injured.
I think.
And ask Colts fans. Ask
Colts
Colts
the MVP front runner that year, but
ask Colts fans what they think.
We can go back and check that out if you want.
But yeah, he definitely was front runner that year.
Carson Wentz and Frank Reich had himself as the front runner. Anyways, let's move on, please, to another coaching hire.
Right. Pick and choose which coaches are responsible for the success.
Lovie Smith to the Texans. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Speaking of third opportunities.
Well, yeah, but I think Lovie Smith got that because of everything that went on with Brian Flores. It sounded like he was the front runner, and then he came out with that lawsuit, and Houston was like, okay, maybe we're going to back off of that and let that run its course. And then with everything that came out, they didn't want to just hire, what's his name, the backup quarterback?
Josh McCown.
Yes, they didn't want to hire Josh McCown with everything that was coming out. And Lovie Smith was already in the building because Lovie Smith wasn't even a finalist or mentioned until all of that came out. And they were like, okay, well, maybe let's just hire Lovie Smith. He's another bridge coach because Houston's a terrible operation and they're just going to be garbage again next year. And I feel bad for Lovie Smith. I mean, not in the sense that like he's getting paid,
I don't feel bad
like,
for Lovie Smith
because I do feel like he's getting used.
I think he knows what he's signing up for.
Yeah, but I agree, Hunter. I think you're both right. Actually, Lovie is getting used, but he understands he's getting used. Yes. This is probably a two or 3 year contract, which is nothing for a head coach. I haven't seen the exact numbers, but it'll be very similar to the Culley thing, where sure we're just gonna, all right, give him a shot. We're not quite ready to find our guy yet. They don't know what's going on with Deshaun Watson. Is he going to be there? Is he not? What they're going to get for him? And they're kicking the can down the road right now because the roster is awful. You try to put a couple pieces together, get a guy that people respect in there. And, on to 2023.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a shame, but that Houston franchise is probably right now the ugliest ran franchise in the NFL with everything going on and off the field. Another hire, let's talk about Las Vegas. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Austin, help me out.
Josh McDaniels.
Yep, Josh McDaniels got hired. What did you guys think of that?
Josh McDaniels is one of those guys that I'm for giving a second opportunity because people forget that season in Denver was a pretty good season there for the most part. That's stance. Well, I mean, on offensively and all that stuff he's done with the Patriots over the years, obviously. Austin, I thought you were going to say something. Sorry, that's why I stopped talking.
I'm interested in what he's going to do with Derek Carr because it didn't sound like he was in love with Derek Carr, but it didn't sound like he was against Derek Carr, which is pretty much every coach's motto with Derek Carr. Yeah. That's in Vegas. But I think there's also like 5 or 6 teams that would love to have Derek Carr. If I'm Derek Carr, I'd be open to a trade, but I think he likes Vegas, and I think he likes the guys in the locker room.
Josh McDaniels was 11-17, and his final year he went 3-9 before he was fired. He pulled out of one coaching job. This to me
Indy.
This is the definition of this guy shouldn't get a job like he did. Because I'm trying to double check myself here. Okay, so it wasn't. Let me see here.
I don't necessarily think he shouldn't have got this job. I think it's okay for him. I think he's probably grown a lot since then.
Yes. It's been a long time.
Has the guy made some mistakes? I mean, yeah.
And they've had a lot of success in New England since then.
I'm trying to find this. Hang on.
Yeah, but I mean, okay. Every coach that gets plugged in Belichick's system has some success. Go ahead, Austin.
My problem here is one, yes. Sean McVay has more assistant coaches that have made a Super Bowl than Bill Belichick has. And Dave Ziegler, who they hired as the general manager, was in Denver with Josh McDaniels at the same time. It didn't work. Why would you hire? Now, he wasn't at the GM role, but why would you just continue to recycle that idea? Forget about recycling coaches. We're going to recycle GMs too, that work together that didn't work.
That I agree with you on that part, but I think that McDaniel's system and how he's going to run the operation is going to be a bit different. But I do agree with you that yes, hiring a GM and a coach that have already previously worked together is pretty bonehead idea, but it's Mark Davis we're talking about here. I mean, he gets his hair cut with a bowl of freaking Captain Crunch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand the infatuation with Josh McDaniels. He didn't have any really real success without Brady and Belichick. He is, we saw what he is character-wise with the Colts, accepting a job before he was even, he reportedly pulled out because he didn't like the behind-the-scenes operation with Indy. Why are you going through a coaching interview? No, like rehab facilities and training and stuff like that. Why are you accepting a coaching job before you know that stuff? That just showed me after just 2 or 3 years ago, he hadn't learned anything. He was still making the same mistakes. I guess technically he learned a little bit because he pulled out at the last second, but I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. That'll be a fun one to watch. I think the Doug Peterson one will be fun to watch. We talked about the one. Let's talk about Miami a little bit. What do you guys think of that hire? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I know he's a young up-and-coming guy that's a brainiac, but I feel like we get one of these big stories every year, and I think he's going to be the one that gets the most pop this offseason.
This is the Mike McDaniel one, right?
Yes.
Yes, Mike McDaniel.
I want to hear, going back off your Doug Peterson take here, Hunter, where you want more offensive minds up and coming. What's your take on Mike McDaniel then?
It's one of those. I like everything pretty much that comes out of that 49ers organization. He was in charge of what specifically over there for them?
The offensive coordinator.
Was the offensive coordinator, okay. The guy that is their run game coordinator is the guy that I really like right now. I've watched some of his stuff online, all that stuff. He's the guy that I'm really interested in. I don't know how much it is him versus the offensive coordinator versus Kyle Shanahan. Whenever an offensive coordinator gets promoted to a head coaching job that has not had play calling duties before, I'm always very hesitant. Always, always. But since it is from this 49ers organization, I think that I'm for giving him an opportunity, but it's going to be a short leash, in my opinion.
So you're going to have another short leash on a guy with another young quarterback?
Who's on a short leash?
I just don't think you can do that. Like, for a team to be good, and speaking as a Browns fan, if you're going to have a young quarterback, you have to provide them with consistency, and you have to run it back for a couple years before you can kick them out of the building. They're doing it with Baker, and we're all seeing at this point, okay, it's not really totally the coaching staff. They still need to improve a little bit. It's definitely not the front office. They finally have their stuff together and putting together a good team, but the quarterback's also not there. I think other organizations need to kind of have that mindset and not do what Houston's doing. Because it's unfortunate that they have the quarterback, but they're just recycling the front office and the coaching staff. And the roster sucks, but go ahead.
Usually I would agree with you, AJ, but this is a situation where I think if it was like a Zach Wilson type or somebody like that actually showed some promise, I think that I would be a little bit different.
It was a dude like Zach Wilson who won 2 games this year, but it wasn't even all him.
Yeah.
Much more promise.
Watch the tape, baby.
Yeah.
Watch the second half of that year. Anyways.
Go watch the Tua tape.
Wins in a row. That one?
Tua did not play bad.
He did not play bad, but he played as good as Tua can possibly play, and that's not a very good quarterback at the end of the day. I'm not saying the ceiling he's great. Is just he's not there, man. It's like
I know it's not, and I'm not
trying to turn this into a Tua conversation, but when you bring in a quarterback and you're like, you want to match this young quarterback with this young coach, and you want to mesh them together, and you want to build this thing together. I don't think Tua's that guy. Why should I think that this coach deserves several years here?
So one of two things to me probably is what happened. Either this guy came in and said, this is my plan with Tua, and this is how I can get him to work. This is the offense I can run. And ownership was like, hey, that sounds pretty good. Let's go with it. Or ownership said, hey, let me tell you a little something nobody knows. I've got Deshaun Watson coming here as soon as this stuff clears up. Can you come up with a system for Deshaun Watson?
I think it's option C.
Which is?
It's option C.
I think option C is 2022 is Mike McDaniel's tryout year with Tua. He knows he has 2023, 2024 to get himself a quarterback that he wants to pick. if so be. And if Tua doesn't work out, then Mike McDaniel gets that opportunity to help the general manager pick their next quarterback, so everything is aligned like it should be.
Isn't Sobey a water?
Guy, awesome.
So like a Cliff Kingsbury type of situation. Well, no, that because Cliff got him.
No, because he came in with Kyler.
Yeah, he did. So, yeah. But I just don't know why he deserves that right. The guy never called plays before in his life, you know.
Because you're giving him the keys to your franchise. Not in his life, but
they're
not fry cooks. But yes. They're the leaders of multi-billion-dollar companies.
I get it. But
you have to give a lead. You can't fire a coach every 12 months.
Yep, I agree with you, Austin.
Stability.
Yes, if you don't have stability. Yeah. Because the stability has to create the culture, and the locker room has to follow. Because sure, you might recycle the quarterback, but there's probably at least 20 guys that you're not recycling every single year. I mean, a roster might get flipped every year, but like you're not getting rid of all 53, 54 guys. There's still going to be guys that return, and you have to have a core.
I like stability. Just when the stability that you're achieving is always going to be mediocre, I'm not for it.
But you don't know it's going to be mediocre. You don't know what this coach has planned. You don't know what the front office has planned now. Now, it is the same GM for the last 20 years. I think that's a bit sus. I think he probably needs to go. But
so does the owner.
Yeah, the owner needs to go too. But
it's all right. We'll revisit these conversations this time next year when you don't have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Let's talk Super Bowl.
Let's do it.
Let's talk a little bit of Super Bowl, and then we'll talk some prop bets, and then at the end of prop bets, we'll give our Super Bowl picks, and we'll wrap up.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Sounds wonderful. Oh, no, I wasn't running it by you. That was what I was saying. I was letting the listener know. But is it okay with you, Hunter? Can we do that?
It is okay with me.
Okay, let's talk about it. This Sunday.
Who's playing?
It is the Los Angeles Rams hosting, but Cincinnati Bengals are the home team in this game, I heard. Do you know what they're going to be wearing? What colors? I don't know.
Bengals are black, Rams are white.
Which is
thank you, Austin.
Atrocity. Why don't we have the Bengals
Atrocity?
Atrocity. Why don't we have the Bengals in orange?
Because that's not their default home jersey, which is what you have to wear in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the boring answer. I agree with you. I want orange too, but
yeah. All right, let's dive into it. What do you guys think? It's going to be a good one. I'm excited for the prop bets portion of this game. I think it could be offensively explosive, but I'm also hesitant because if it's not offensively explosive, it means that the Rams are going to absolutely pound the Bengals. Those are the two things I see going. I think the only way the Bengals win this is if it's in a higher scoring game.
I agree wholeheartedly. I do think the Rams are going to win this game, and I think they're going to. Burrow's been in some good spots, and I'm not worried about Burrow. But no one on the team really has. Zach Taylor hasn't. The defense for the most part hasn't. The Rams have been there, and that matters, and we see that in Super Bowls. When teams come out, you can't lay a quarter. You can't lay an egg in the first quarter and then be like, all right, we're good.
Like they did in that Chiefs game.
Right. Like you can't have that in the Super Bowl, especially not against a team that has experience. And yes, I understand Matt Stafford doesn't specifically, but a large portion of that team has some sort of experience in the Super Bowl. And the Rams excel at the things that the Bengals struggle the most with.
It's not even the experience. It's what you said there at the end. They excel at what the Bengals struggle with. When you look at this matchup, I mean, is there a team in the NFC that they would be more scared of than the Rams, specifically against them in that matchup? I don't think there is.
Not off the top of my head.
No,
because that's the pass rush that you do have to worry most about. Just having 4 pass rushers come at you and being able to drop 7. I do think that's the team you're worried most about.
Yeah, 100%. That offensive line has played pretty good. Last week before, not so much. It's all about the matchup with that defensive line going against this offensive line. We know Burrow, who he's going to be, whether he gets hit or not. He's going to be great. He's going to be efficient. And the defense on that Cincinnati side, we always know it's going to kind of just be in the middle too. It's not going to lose them the game. It's also not going to win them the game. The matchup in this game is the defensive line going against the Cincinnati Bengals front five, and I think it's going to be a massacre.
Really?
On that offensive line.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I'm saying Burrow will get sacked over 4 times, maybe 5, 6 times even. So
'tis possible. What do you think about the before we move on, Austin, with your comments? I want to know, what do you think about the secondary matchup for both of these teams versus the receiving cores? So let's think about, just focus on not the line situation, the trenches.
I'm excited to see what they do with Ramsey, because he hasn't been following the last couple weeks, and actually for a good majority of the season. If he follows Chase, I think the Bengals could be in a world of hurt. If he doesn't, and they play more zone like they've played for a good majority of this playoffs, like with Mike Evans, he trailed him until the snap. Like, he would follow him to that side of the field, but then they would still fall off into zone. So it wasn't like it was a true one-on-one scenario with Mike Evans. And if they do the same thing, then Burrow might have a chance to really find him. But if they just basically go, Ramsey, we trust the rest of our guys, you take Chase out of the way, give us Boyd and Higgins, and we're going to figure it out from there. And I think that's the best philosophy here. I don't know if that's what will end up happening, and on the other side, if they leave Eli Apple on Cooper Kupp, he is going to have 275 yards receiving in this game.
Yeah, he's going to get torched.
Or they put him one-on-one on Odell, too. Odell might have 9 catches for 160 yards.
I mean, either one of them, the route running capabilities, like he was getting torched by Tyreek, but that was just speed. He wasn't like making any moves, and he was getting his ankles broke by like straight lines with a half a hesitation. These guys that are like technical route runners are going to carve him up.
Yeah, I've never really been a huge fan of Eli Apple.
Neither Sean
I don't
Payton.
think he's that great. Yeah, or the New York Giants.
We've seen
or
this
any
Rams,
other team he's been on.
We've seen this Rams offense have a couple of moments throughout the year, though, where it's like, man, they look dysfunctional. Is there no possibility that they could come out dysfunctional this game and Cincinnati could win in a low-scoring game?
What do you think?
Go ahead.
What do you think the thing that does that to him the most? Like, if you had to pick one person that stops them, who would you pick?
What you mean? The Rams? Stops the Rams?
Yep, the Rams offense.
One person that stops it? I mean, it's an internal thing. It's Sean McVay.
I agree.
Oh, it's my boy Trey Hendrickson. I agree with you. It's Sean McVay, and that's what I think. Austin, I think I'm going to take the words right out of your mouth.
You are. Is
that you were talking about how the Bengals can't fall asleep and just not show up. They technically can, because Sean McVay's, tends to lose his marbles in the second half when he's up by a lot of points. And this is a Bengals team that's proven every single week that they can put up points in a hurry or go downfield when it matters and put up points. I agree with you that Sean McVay is going to be what could hold this Rams offense back.
So they only scored 3 points offensively in that Super Bowl against the Patriots, his only appearance there. I think there's a real shot, and everyone, hammered him from clamming up, and he was this offensive genius, and he was hyper aggressive, and this and that and this and that. I think there's a real chance that McVay gets super risky early in this game, and it could work out, and they could be up 14-0 at the end of the first quarter, and it could really bite him in the butt and give the Bengals a ton of momentum But I think he's terrified to be that guy.
Do you think we'll see an OBJ pass in the first half?
We'll see an OBJ pass in this game for sure.
Is there a prop bet on that? We'll have to look that up.
I think it's total number of players with a pass attempt.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll definitely get an OBJ pass in this game. He scares me. Is ultimately what this is coming down to, is that if he's on it and he's pushing the right buttons, this Rams team is still the most talented team in football, in my opinion. And they could just come in and clean up and do what they should do, and this game's a wrap. But I just don't trust him. I don't trust him. Stafford always seems to make one random crucial mistake, and if Burrow plays mistake-free, this game is going to be right there at the end, and I don't want to be whoever has the ball last will win.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. As someone who's incredibly neutral in this game and just wants to see a good game, I hope it comes down to the last play of the game. But part of me feels like us as fans have been really lucky these playoffs outside of Wild Card Week to get good games every week. This could be the one week that we don't get a good one. That and the past few Super Bowls have been pretty good too.
At this point, my mentality is I'm going to make my pick on this game and everything that we'll go over after props, obviously. But I'm not, at this point, the Cincinnati team, like, what do I feel like I question everything I know about them. Because I said all season, not up to par, not a playoff team, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like throughout this playoff run here, I don't think that they've been winning these games. I feel like the other team's been losing these games, you know? And it's one of those things where we've seen the Rams multiple times now with Sean McVay have those moments where he's almost lost them some games. And if it's right there, Joe Burrow's going to take advantage of that. It's the Cincinnati Bengals team that is an opportunist team. That's what they are. So It's right there for them. But
I agree with you completely.
Should we do some props?
Let's take a break and then let's do some props. It's that special time of year, everybody. It's the only reason you listen to this podcast, our second annual Super Bowl prop bet show. Welcome to it. Hunter, lead us off. Throw one out there.
Gosh, you got to throw the ball in my court, don't you? All right.
I thought you were the one that had them.
I'm starting off with the one I brought up to you guys before we started the show. Snoop Dogg. Will he smoke on stage? Yes. Even money. No. The favorite. minus 130.
Is it a cigarette or is it marijuana?
It's just smoke.
It just says smoke.
Anything.
Okay. Well, I have it from a source that lives in my household that Snoop Dogg is pretty notorious for smoking on stage. I think he's going to do it. It's in LA. It's his town. He'll be up there with his boys. Yeah, what are they going to do? Kick him out? Snoop's lighting up at halftime.
He did say this was a dream come true for him. And I think the only two things that he dreams about in life are apparently doing the halftime show at the Super Bowl and smoking weed wherever he wants.
I mean, he smoked in the White House. If you guys haven't heard that story, go listen to that story. Snoop smoked in the White House. He snuck a joint into the White House. What's keeping him from doing it during the halftime show? He's lighting up.
Who's broadcasting this game? What?
NBC.
NBC.
It's Al Michaels' last game. We got to talk about that a little bit too at some
Will
point.
Will he smoke with Al Michaels?
Oh, that would be awesome. Sign me up.
I don't think. How does Al Michaels get on the stage?
Oh, he doesn't. He goes up there to Al Michaels, bro.
Just fourth quarter.
We're coming back. Welcome back to the second half here in LA. And then Snoop's just got his arm around him, token up, and Collinsworth hands him the joint back, or he passes it to Collinsworth.
This is what we need if it becomes a Rams blowout.
And
oh my god!
But Michaels is gonna bring it back. Like, welcome back to Los Angeles. Ooh.
Chris Collinsworth. Now here's a guy with
Instead of
great joint in his hand.
Instead of sliding in from the side during the broadcast, he's just going to see the smoke start pouring in.
Here's a guy that knows how to find some good devil's lettuce.
All right. I'm going to go with no. There's no way he smokes on live television.
I agree, Hunter. I don't think he's going to do it, given the circumstances.
Give me one, Austin. You got another one pulled up, don't you?
Mine are a little bit more, or not as fun.
But we got to get those ones in, too.
We do. I closed it out on accident. I suck.
Throw us another one, Hunter.
Go ahead, Hunter.
All right. Let's see here. Well, we just talked about it. How many players will have a passing attempt? Over 2.5 is plus 105. Under is minus 135 as the favorite.
I'll take the over because I think that there's going to be one OBJ pass.
I agree.
Couldn't agree more.
If not,
it seems like a pretty easy
OBJ,
one.
I will take my chances saying that one of these teams has something up their sleeve.
Yeah, didn't the Rams do a tight end pass earlier this season at some point?
They might have.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I really don't.
It might have been the pass to OBJ as well. I don't remember.
You could. I know Odell threw one. I think Odell caught one too, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think he caught one from the tight end.
Can Joe Mixon throw? I know he can throw a punch, but can he? Anyways, let's move on. Give me another one, Austin.
That's the worst. All right. Let's see here. Those are confusing odds. That's way too much. Let's go. Do both teams score a touchdown on their first possession?
No.
Big odds here. If you're better, there's some value here.
No has to be like minus 300, right?
Minus 200 or 2,500.
2,500?
Yes. Yes is over.
Austin, you're licking your chops at this, Mr. Value Better himself.
1,000.
So So you'd have to pay $2,500 to win 100.
Correct.
And if you bet 10, how much would you win?
If you bet 10 on yes or no?
On yes.
I think it's 25 cents.
Or no, I'm sorry. If they both score a touchdown.
10 would win you 104.
That's not bad.
That's what I'm saying. There's some value there. I don't necessarily think they do. But there's some value there. I like it a little bit.
This is the segment of the show that we really should get Zach in here for.
Honestly. He'd have a field day.
That could be a good one for that.
What color
I feel like he
liquid?
bets like 12 prop bets each Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And he probably parlays them all together, too. What color liquid will be poured on the winning coach of Super Bowl 56? Orange is the favorite, plus 200. Red is plus 400. Lime green, yellow is plus 300. Blue is also plus 175. Other than that, everything else is a little bit higher odds.
I think everyone's been good. I feel like it's orange.
Did you say clear?
I did not even say clear would be water. That's plus 600.
I'm gonna take that.
I'm going the Gatorade. Orange.
Orange for AJ.
I am going to.
Have we had the coin toss yet?
No, not yet.
Rams are wearing white, you said?
Yep.
I don't think they're pouring yellow on a white jersey.
I agree.
Well, it's also not going on a jersey. It's going on the coach.
Well,
that's fair too.
That's true too. Yeah. More thought
and
needs to be put into
really,
this.
Hunter, if you win the Super Bowl and you have that jersey, I'm not washing that jersey.
No.
If it gets orange on it, I'm keeping the orange Gatorade stain forever.
Right, but
so if anything, I want it to be colored.
Do you want it to be piss-colored yellow?
I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I won the Super Bowl and that jersey's getting framed. I don't care what color it is. It's not my pants.
I'm going to take red. I like that at plus 400.
Okay.
Give me another one, Austin.
We'll go to everyone's favorite. We'll go coin toss here. Heads or tails, straight and simple, same odds. What do we got?
I'm going heads.
I'm going heads too. Tails never fails is the thing that you do in overtime. It's heads for sure.
Tails every time. Don't even overthink it. You guys are crazy.
Isn't that what Josh Allen did? And look where he's at, dude. Watching the Super Bowl.
And then Brandon Allen didn't.
Yeah, and they won.
I can live with myself picking tails and being wrong. I can't pick heads and it be tails. It's just can't do it.
Here's one that I like. I really, really like when we get Super Bowl props mixed in with other sports. What will be greater? Okay. Matt Stafford's total pass completions in the Super Bowl or total players under par at the 2022 Masters?
Oh my gosh. That bet takes like a year to freaking cash, doesn't it?
Yeah, right.
Not until like April. That is a
when even is the Masters?
I think
it's like the first. It's like the first or second week of April.
Stafford. Say that again.
Pass completions, total pass completions, or players that are under par at the Masters.
Well, logically thinking about this, I think 40 make the cut. Or around 40 to 50-ish make the cut. And I would say the cut is typically at like +2 or 3, depending on the conditions. Which means that I'd say probably like 24 to 28 to 30-ish, like that 24 and up range, to probably about 30 is under par at the Masters. So Matt Stafford, in my mind, has to have over 30 completions to be safe in this. And I think he's going to have over 30 completions for sure. I think they're going to throw the ball a lot. So I would take that. I would take Stafford having more completions.
I feel like there's only one way to approach this, and it is to take Stafford, because then you know going into the Masters what you need to root for.
Right. Well, either way, you know what you need.
You will not make this putt, you jackass.
Yeah. Do you have one pulled up for us, Austin?
Do you have a time on the National Anthem? Because
let me look.
I bet the over on that last year, and the guy flew through it, I think.
Well, I have some theories here.
Do you have some insider
info? Is it 135? I think it's 135. So,
did someone stand outside the stadium and record it again as they rehearsed it?
I think the sports books do. That you bet this on. I believe it's 135. So 135 is much lower than the average time of Super Bowl national anthems, which I think is just under 2 minutes. It's like $1:56 or something like that. But this lady that's singing,
who's singing it?
Mickey Guyton is singing it. She was taped at doing a national anthem at a previous sporting event, and what she did at minute 26 seconds, which would by far break the record for fastest in Super Bowl history. So there was even a couple people on TikTok and Twitter calling her Quickie Mickey, and I'm gonna ride it, and we're gonna go under on the national anthem.
I'll ride it with you just because of the awesome nickname.
Listen, that's exactly what they want you to think. We're going over.
I think I went over last year and I regretted it. I'm gonna go with Quickie Mickey.
All right, I got us another one here. Here's another cross, not even cross sport, cross other total. It's honestly politics. Tyler Boyd receiving yards in the Super Bowl, or Joe Biden's approval rating on March 1st, which is higher. Jeez. Even odds.
What was the Jamar Chase part of it?
His are total receiving yards in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, his is going to be higher, I think.
Who was the receiver? Was it Chase?
No, it's Boyd. Tyler Boyd.
Oh, Tyler Boyd.
If this was T. Higgins, I'd be smashing it, but I don't know about Tyler Boyd.
I'm not seeing a good game out of Tyler Boyd, so I guess by default, I'm gonna go with Biden because I just don't see a whole lot of success.
How many yards do you think you need? Do we want to take
Not
a
a
stab
lot.
at that?
Not a lot. Does it say which site they're using? That could skew my vote too.
I really wonder what
Yeah.
the highest
Is it
approval
Fox or
rating
CNN?
a president has ever gotten. Has there ever been just a year where everybody's like, you know what, you're doing great, man. Let's go. Everybody just in unison. Let's go, man. All right, let's see.
No.
You got anything else for me? I'm kind of strolling through and I'm not seeing a whole lot. I'm trying to keep finding some.
No Andy Reid cheeseburger bets this year after the
No.
Super Bowl. No,
Damn.
none of that. That's a load of crap. What about Joe Burrow over under 1.5 passing touchdowns?
If this game's going to be good, and I'm hoping it is, he's going to need 2 at least. And that's not including like rushing touchdowns from someone. So I'm going to bet the over, hoping that it's a good game.
I think Burrow gets 2 regardless, whether it be in mop-up duty or if it's out of hand or if the game's close. I still think he can get to 2. I think he gets 2 safe here.
I think
He just has to escape the pressure.
You're just a pro, dude.
Absolutely.
I try my best.
I'm gonna go.
How do we not have sponsors?
I'm gonna go with under.
You think Jack's Frozen Pizza will sponsor us, Austin?
Dude, I hope.
Does Jack's Frozen Pizza sponsor anybody?
I don't know, but we could be the first. One of us has to eat a pizza every episode on camera. Austin's got it this episode.
I'll just be the volunteer. They can sponsor me directly.
Once a week, Austin, you got to eat a whole Jack's Frozen Pizza.
Done and done.
You have now become the Papa John's of this podcast. I'm trying to find first touchdown. Do you have first touchdown pulled up, Austin? By chance? Or a way to access that? Because I'm not seeing it.
First touchdown score?
Yep.
That's combos. Let's do that. We'll do a couple of those. So first touchdown scorer to be either Cooper Kupp or Jamar Chase.
So first touchdown between the two of them?
No. Like the first touchdown of the game to be either Cooper Kupp or Jamar Chase. Or we'll go with the first touchdown scorer to be Odell or Joe Mixon. Which one of those two would you rather have?
I think I'd rather have Odell and Mixon, honestly. They look Odell's way early.
Yeah, honestly, I was kind of leaning that. But if there's an option of the field, I would take the field.
Well, there's a lot of other ones that you've got here. You could go
Give me a little Drew Sample action.
Cam Akers, and really your pick of any of them.
Yeah.
T. Higgins, Joe Mixon.
I would.
I
I'll
kind
go
of
with
like
what Hunter
I
said.
kind of like that one. Jamar Chase and Odell Beckham. That's plus 400. So 10 pays 50 on that. Jamar Chase or Odell. I like that.
I like the Mixon OBJ because I could see Cincinnati either giving a little dump pass to Mixon or Mixon getting a rushing touchdown, or OBJ just getting a red zone. Because to me, for it to be Chase or Kupp, I think it has to be a big play, and I think the first touchdown is going to be scored inside the 10, inside the 5. I don't think it's going to be a shot.
Here's a good one. Will any part of Eminem's performance be censored? Obviously, they try to censor themselves so the TV doesn't have to do it. Will he have a slip up and the TV has to step in? Minus 180 is yes.
He's done plenty of stuff where he censors himself, and he's a good enough rapper that he can censor himself. They're not going to have to censor him.
I agree. I think he's done enough stuff publicly on TV and stuff that he's going to be able to contain it, especially for his Detroit brother and Matt Stafford. You don't want to take any shine away from him.
Yeah, no, he'll be all right.
I agree.
Now, if we're talking like
pro.
Slim Shady and we're talking 20 years ago, then we're talking something different.
Then
Right.
he's intentionally saying it on TV.
Yeah. But
right.
now, no, he'll keep it clean.
I got a couple good ones I like here. Will
All right.
any kick hit the uprights?
What's the odds?
Yes is plus 400. No is minus 550.
I like yes. I like yes. It's good odds. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, if I was betting, maybe I would say that one of them's gonna hit. Yeah, because I'm not betting 550 to win 100.
Which is why they do it that way, AJ.
I know.
How many times? Sorry, go ahead, Austin. You didn't even make a pick there.
I'm just gonna go with no because I don't wish anybody to have a kicker hit an upright.
I just know it's not going to be McPherson that does it. And if he does do it, it's going to hit the upright and go in.
Shout out to, was it Zach that said that he's betting on McPherson for Super Bowl MVP?
I think it was Schmitty,
Was it Schmitty?
Yeah.
Let's go.
The odds were plus 10,000.
Welcome to
Yeah,
our degenerate friend group, people.
Yeah.
How many times will Roger Goodell be shown throughout the game? Over 1.5 is the favorite. Minus 145.
Oh, gotta be over, right?
Has to be.
He'll for sure get one, like even just early on.
Hang on,
Maybe-
during the game?
During the
This is
game.
So the game already has to be kicked off?
Yes, during the game.
Ooh, that's a little trickier.
Because
then.
that's my thing too, is that it
It's
has
not
to be,
after the
if it has to
ceremony,
be during,
all that stuff.
Yeah,
No,
if
because
it
that
has
would
to be
make it
during the
easy.
game.
Yes.
I bet they only show him the one time.
I'm gonna go under then. If
Yeah.
it's specifically during game time, I'm gonna go under.
Yep.
I think if you said broadcast, I'd go like 3 or 4. But I think if it's just the game, I'm gonna take the under.
What if it becomes a
agree.
blowout? Does that increase?
Then for
the amount of
sure.
times?
For sure, that definitely.
No,
I think
they'll
that
look at
definitely
the
tilts it.
celebrities. They won't look at Goodell.
No, but they'll show Goodell because they'll be talking about giving out the trophy, and if they've already shown him once, all it would take was one more. Yeah, that would definitely put it in jeopardy, I think. One of my favorite ones every year, the first touchdown scorer's jersey number. Over under 23.5. So whoever is the first touchdown scorer, over under their number being 23.5.
And you know it's 23.5 because of Cam Akers too.
True, but you do have Joe Mixon on the other side.
It's very true.
Yeah, but
And Sony Michelle.
What
But
number
you
is Sony
really
Michelle?
only
25?
have Joe Mixon, Sonny Michelle,
T.
and then
Higgins.
T. Higgins, and tight ends.
And tight ends.
But your big
Tyler
players
Boyd.
and your big players in this game and your big receivers are all under that 23.5. I would say the under 23.5 is my guess.
I would say over just because teams start out more conservative. I think it's either Michelle. I'd take my chances. Akers not scoring. It'd be Michelle, Mixon, or one of these tight ends. I think.
Plus, you got Higgins as a big end zone target. I'm gonna take the under, just because I think there's a lot of value, having Odell and Kupp and Chase and Akers and both quarterbacks. I just think you get a little bit better chance there. Minus 140 for under, plus 110 for over.
All right, let's do one more and then let's wrap up the show with our picks.
All right, so my last one. I love this one. Who will the Super Bowl MVP thank first?
What are the odds? Tell us the options of the odds. Come on.
Sorry, I was typing it out. So team or teammates is plus 100, so even money. The city that they're from or the fans is plus 275. God or religion / faith is 35 or plus 350.
I'm hammering that one.
And then family is plus 800.
Is Matt Stafford religious?
Yes.
Yeah, especially with him and his wife.
Yeah, I'm going with the religion one.
Yeah, that feels like super good value. I would
I'm
thinking
go ahead.
Thinking that this is going to be either, in my opinion, Cup or Stafford. If you have Cooper Kupp and the story behind him and his wife, and Stafford with his religion and his family, I probably would bet them both, because either way, you'd walk away positive here. For the sake of this, I'm gonna go with you guys, and I'm gonna take God/religion for the 350 because that feels like way too high of odds.
I'm going with teammates, just because I think either one of those guys immediately points to their teammates.
I don't think so. I think both of those guys in particular that he listed are going religion or family first. But if it's Joe Burrow that wins it, that's where I see the teammate coming in. But even like if OBJ won it, it's still religion.
What odds do you think I can get on Coach O if it's Joe Burrow?
That's my Coach O.
All right. We ready to give out picks? Picks and MVPs?
Let's
picks, MVPs, and final scores.
All right.
All right. Hunter, since you've botched the news every single week for the entire length of this podcast going, we're going to have you go first.
I'm going to take the Rams 31-17, Matt Stafford MVP.
31-17. All right.
31-17.
All right. I'm going to go hoping for a good game. I'm going to go 34-31 with a Matt Gay winning field goal from under 45 yards because he can't make it from over. And they're going to win 34-31. And I think Matt Stafford, they'll definitely, if the Rams win, they're going to give it to him as long as he's got a touchdown pass, in my opinion, because of the story. It'll be Matt Stafford.
All right. Oh, I got to be a little bit different.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I'm not taking the Bengals.
I took the Rams only because I feel like every time I picked against the Bengals, they win, and I kind of like that. So I'm going to let them keep their underdog streak going.
Honestly, yeah, that's my mentality too. I'm just like, if the Bengals win, awesome, good for them. But I'm not picking them because I haven't so far.
I'm going to go Rams 27-21.
Overtime?
No,
Oh,
they're
that would
gonna
be
win.
sick.
They're gonna come up. They're gonna come up just short at the end. Too much help from the defense, but I'm gonna take Cooper Kupp as my MVP. Couple big catches, maybe get him over $150 touchdown. Have a huge game, and for all this talk about Kupp for MVP, I don't think he's gonna get it. So maybe we get a little bit of a bone thrown to him at the end of the year, showing out.
Isn't the player awards tonight?
No, I don't think so.
Or is it tomorrow?
Let me pull up here. I gotta know.
We should be finding out within the next few days of who wins MVP and everything. That typically comes out before the Super Bowl, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's right before. Trying to see.
I don't have a good way to access this really quick, but I gotta know what Aaron Donald's MVP line is.
That for sure would be worth a little bit of a sprinkle.
Yeah, he could have 4 or 5 sacks here and definitely win that.
How many sacks do you think it takes for him to win MVP and like Super Bowl MVP? Like it's got to be over three
and a turnover, or 4 without a turnover.
3. I'm not even gonna go 3 and like some other crazy play of some sort in some capacity could be.
Or 3 if like the third one's clutch, like down the stretch. They're trying to come.
Like I mean, it could even be like a batted pass, something like a pressure, anything like that.
I feel like 3 in a very low scoring game, in a boring game, and if it's going to be a shootout, it's got to be at least 4. Like he has to manhandle.
If Matt Stafford throws for over, I don't even know, like 250 yards and 2 touchdowns,
275.
I think that he would get it over Aaron Donald having like 3 sacks in a game.
No, I know. That's why I'm saying Aaron Donald needs to have at least 4.5.
Yeah.
What if Aaron Donald gets a pick 6?
Yeah, I mean, if he finds a way to score a touchdown.
Yeah, he becomes a front runner at that point. Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
All right. Well, that does it for today's show. Hopefully you all enjoyed it, and we're all looking forward to the Super Bowl. We hope you enjoy it as well. Visit us next week as we do our recap, and we'll let you know what we plan to do with our off season. But until then, deuces.